agree with you. I think that's where I am. I'm getting my systems in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that, I'm spending a little more time and slowly but steadily getting all my presentations, etc., in place. So I do hear you.
Okay, I'm going to ask you all a very pointed question. Raise your hand, and we're going to forgive the past, okay? We're just going to talk about from this moment forward. Raise your hand if you have a Zoom account.
I don't.
Okay. You're not going to be able to conduct business from this moment forward without one. I'm just telling you. There will probably never be another time where your buyer picks out 8 homes they want to see and you drive them all over town and go in and out of all of them and touch their doorknobs and all that stuff. That is over. That is probably never going to come back. Okay. It's just relatively inefficient, right? They're going to say, hey, Mr. Listing Agent of 123 Smith Street, send me the video. Then they send the video. The dude takes a look at the video and they say, yes, I want to go inside that house, or they eliminate it. See what I'm saying? When you do business that way, it separates you from the other agents, and it saves everyone time. Like Gene said today, he says, so you're going to bring a person that I don't know anything about. I don't know where they've been for the last 14 days. I don't know if they've been practicing social distancing. I don't know if they have a relative that has symptoms of this thing, and sometimes you can pass it without even having symptoms, right? You're going to come in my house, touch everything, and then walk out and be like, that's not for me. That is not protecting your seller. It's a big waste of time for everybody, right? So you're going to have to re-engineer every system you've got to be efficient and tech savvy in this market. By the way, I know this is a bit of a fluke, but Keller Williams has been preparing for this for 4 years.
So may I ask you a question regarding this? So there's a family that my friend said they may be thinking of putting their house up. So I was thinking of getting a pre-listing presentation. So do I not just drop it off and then do the usual? Do I send them digitally? I'm just confused how to go about it.
So you need to let them guide that a little bit. You've got to ask those questions.
Oh, okay.
So let's do a little role play real fast.
Okay.
Anu, I just heard from Anu that, hey, this is Bill Linkwald. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. And I know you're probably expecting my call. Anu sent us a 3-way email introducing us. And she said you had some questions, but first of all, is everything okay at your house? Is everyone healthy, safe? Everything okay there?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's kind of crazy out there, huh? So if there's anything I can ever do for you or somebody you know, please let me know, okay?
I will.
We're out in the community helping as many people as we can a bunch of different ways. So, Anu said you had some questions about the market. Tell me what's going on in your world.
Well, we were thinking of putting the house up on the market, but with all this happening, I don't know. We probably will wait for a bit until we see what happens.
Gotcha. So what was the motivation behind putting your home on the market? Are you looking to move into a bigger house, a smaller house, a house in a different part of the city?
Well, no, our daughter is graduating in May. So we were thinking of probably, and this is literally their answer, that we may move to where she moves. I shouldn't laugh, but.
Do you know where that is right now?
No, I don't. They would probably know. I don't. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to throw Boston.
Role play with me. Let's make stuff up.
She's got into a school in Boston.
Okay, so you might move to Boston. Okay.
Correct.
So much for moving away from home, huh? Parents follow you wherever you go. My God. Okay. Okay, so tell me a little bit about, have you ever thought of selling your home before, or tell me a little bit about, are there any other factors that are influencing the move?
Not really. It's about her getting into admission someplace, and we just want to be close to her. And no, we have not thought about putting our house up earlier than this.
Okay. Have you ever sat down with a real estate agent to kind of review what the value of the home might be?
Actually, yes, I have.
What do you think that number is?
They said something in the range of 600,000 to 700,000.
600,000 to 700,000. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm reaffirming what I've heard. When I restate it,
Mm-hmm.
that means I can only restate it if I listened to it in the first place. Make sense?
Right.
Okay. So other than the fact that this COVID-19 virus is going around, was there anything else that might prevent you from listing, in the next couple of months?
The couple of things. One is no, other than what's happening out there. That's one of the reasons. But the other thing also is that there was one agent who who made her presentation a couple of months ago, and she sold a home in our neighborhood. It sold in 4 days. So
Yeah.
Naturally, I feel inclined, to go with her. She's, so I just thought it's fair to let you know. And I know
Okay.
you're, so-and-so's friend, so I'm willing to talk to you, but.
So I appreciate the opportunity to meet. Right. So what I did there is she's trying to tell me I have a lousy chance of getting the business, and I'm pre-assuming she's going to meet with me anyway.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right. So I'm so glad that you're willing to meet with me.
Okay.
Right before you make your decision. Nope, I'm right on it here. Okay.
Hi.
Say hi. Okay. I'll see you in just a second. Okay.
Wait, Daddy.
Yes.
Straight after you're done, Kilo will check if the sprinkler works.
Yes. Okay. Having fun. So we want to make sure we don't want to let her off the hook for that. If she's on the phone, we want to get the appointment. So myself and my company are meeting basically on virtually several times a day, learning the best ways to follow all the appropriate health standards and guidelines and all that stuff. What we don't know right now is how this is going to have an impact on the marketplace, right? And prior to this happening, homes in that price range, I know there's homes that have sold for just a couple of days, but it is oftentimes a little harder and takes a little longer to sell a home in that price range. So, if we evaluate all the data and we determine that now might be a good time to sign, is that something you would consider if we take all the appropriate health precautions?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I would consider
Great,
it. Sure.
book it. All right, Anu, I'm sure you have a Zoom account, right? I'm ready to sign some paperwork. Just send me over your Zoom account link.
Oops. I don't. Okay. I see
Right.
what you're getting at.
So you got to be prepared.
Okay.
Right. All right. Everyone needs a Zoom link before the end of the day today. Got it?
Okay.
No excuses. Every single time, everything that you do to communicate with your buyers and sellers is going to have to be done virtually for now. So you're going to have some fluency in, okay, can you see my screen? Okay, we're going to look at some ChartMaster stats. Okay, here's the listing agreement. Here's what paragraph 4 means. Here's what paragraph 5 means. Do you have any questions? That's where you would sign. Okay, this is what the email looks like. And then you're going to press this and then press that. And then we're going to be partners. Right? Here, we're going to do a little virtual analysis of the comparables. Right? So here, we'll just do a quick little example. Okay, so here is FMLS. Here, by the way, are the 510 properties that were listed in the last 24 hours.
That's a great one to show.
Right. And by the way, there was 58 homeowners that actually increased their price in the last 24 hours. Does that surprise you? You know the answer to that, but ask the question anyway, right? And then you can go in and go, just like we did the other day, one by one through these homes. Okay, let's look at the pictures together.
Mm-hmm.
Is your bathroom more impressive than this? Is it larger? Is it shaped differently? Is it smaller? Seriously, dear. Right? And you can walk them through right this way, because you may have that other agent that sold that home in 4 days. All that means is their marketing, or just the fact that that listing was out there in the universe for a buyer, happened to find a buyer at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have a whole lot to do at all with whether that person's going to be the best person to represent you. Okay? Lots of agents can help you. It doesn't just have to be that one person, right? And you can walk them through the details. Here's the tax records. This is what your square footage is. This is what their square footage is. And the more and more time you spend with them, the more, hang on. The more value you're communicating, and they are going to feel kind of a bit of indebtedness to you and give you a better shot at giving the opportunity. But the bottom line is, don't make it about you. Make it about them. So you say, how do you feel about all this stuff going on? Or how do you feel about people coming into your home right now? Right? My property, somebody wanted to go see it yesterday. I didn't have a bit of problem with that. I'm trying to sell my home. Right? They're taking all the appropriate precautions. They let me know that. And even if they didn't let me know, I probably would have said, come on, let's do it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we definitely, absolutely have to convert. We have to get proficient on these tech tools. Okay, this is what we do, right? So like let's say we owned a restaurant, and now we can't have people dine in our restaurant. We can only make the food and then walk it out to them for takeout, right? And you're like, well, we don't have that many systems for takeout. We've never done 200 takeout orders in a day before. Well, we don't have as many boxes. We don't order that many. Well, you better order them if you want to stay in business, right? You better figure out a system. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful.
So how do you suggest they I haven't been to their house. How do you suggest, if it comes up to this point, that how will they show me their house?
On Zoom. Okay. Say you're going to use your tablet, or you're going to use your phone, and you're going to walk me through the home, room by room. And then you're going to show me the kitchen, and I'm going to say, okay, show me how those cabinets open. I just want to make sure I see that they've got that soft close thing. Or, is that a 6-burner stove or a 5-burner stove? Right? Are those stairs up to the attic? Right? Is that show me the molding package? Let me make sure I get a good look at that backsplash. Right? Show me the back door so I can see how flat the backyard is. Right? Show me the kind of give me a little scene of the nearby homes. Right?
Okay, and I'm fast forwarding to, let's say, listing agreement aside. I'm just being extremely optimistic, and then
you're being realistic because you're intelligent and prepared.
Okay, I got to change my thinking. Okay, and then this virtual showing business is intimidating for me.
What's intimidating about it for you?
How do you okay, so get the home listed on FMLS, and is it the open house, which is virtual, or
anything's virtual? You've now been hired to sell that house, so whatever it takes. So you might do, the first thing I would do is walk in there and do a room by room, very detailed video like Leslie was talking about 2 days ago, right? Room by room. All right, guys, I just got an opportunity to list 111 Smith Street. It's a 6-bedroom home. It's in a swim and tennis community called Seven Oaks. And here it is. It's in this school district. It's on this amount of land. It's a 4-sided brick home. A 3-car garage. I'm just so excited to show it to you today. All right, first room, kitchen. We got a 6-burner stove here, custom backsplash. Look how big this pantry is. We got a big center island where your family can have breakfast all together. and look at this light that's coming in. Okay, can you see that? It doesn't have to be perfect, just be human, right? All right, look, it has this little keeping room here with a nice stone fireplace and some bookshelves. Isn't this awesome? Picture your family here, right? Opening the Christmas presents or whatever. All right, next we're gonna walk over to the laundry area. Okay, we got a sink in the laundry space. We've got some shelving here. You know, now here's the door to the garage. We got an extra 3-car garage, and it has this tandem parking spot, whatever it is, right? And we've got this super, you know, efficient and quiet garage door system opener thing, right? Okay, we got a master on the main. Here it is. Boom. Here's the family room. Look at this molding package. Oh my goodness, right? And you're just going through the space room by room and pitching it. I mean, that's what we do, right? As listing agents, our job is to sell the home, right? We're not embellishing anything. We're just showing the world what it is. Because when somebody says, hey, Anu, I see your listing, but me and my client are petrified to go inside. Do you by chance have a video of it? And you say, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Let me just pull up my Zoom account real fast and I'll send it to you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, sure.
So that is our job, right? And so that could be something you post on Instagram or post on Facebook. It's something you could email out to your network. It's something that you should shout from the rooftops because somebody has hired you to help them sell that thing. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's what Andy and the rest of them are talking about. You go get every one of your listings should have a really fancy, cool video, right? Because people may not want to go in that house right now. And quite frankly, your sellers might not want them in there either.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And make it cute. Say, hey, look at me. I got gloves on, mask on, goggles on, foot things on. Here's my 6 boxes of hand sanitizer. Here's our little sanitation section. So if anyone wants to come and see this home in person, you can wash your hands and your face and your legs right here. No need to worry. Me and my organization are taking care of you. Okay? By the way, we help buyers buy and sellers sell. If you have any questions, we can help you. Got it?
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
You might have to practice that a little bit, like, you know, get some energy around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Step out of your comfort zone a little bit, okay? Be human.
Okay,
it doesn't have to be perfect. If there's a little blip, just say, huh. Like your daughter comes in the thing. It is what it is, man. We're all working from home. When am I going to get worked up about that and let it ruin my day? What's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody signed off because she walked in, right? No one signed off, right? Stephanie's still there. Good. Okay. All right. So there's a bunch of different things for listing presentations. Okay. So I want to spend a little bit of time on this. Number one, Michael Lewis Marketing Suite has a listing presentation. Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, michaellewismarketingsuite.com. And the password, the username, all of us have this. The username is your KW email. And the password, who remembers what the password is?
MLMS initially, and then after that you could go change.
What do you mean change?
I mean, you can go, I think I've changed mine to.
Yeah, I think it's MLMS password is the password, and then you can go.
No, I don't think there's the word password. I think it's just MLMS. I don't believe the word password is in the password.
Okay, so use that. If you have trouble, reach out to Lucy, and she'll make sure you have the appropriate login. Okay? So you can go in there, and they have listing guides, and they even have, I think they even have some pre-listing material as well. If you go into Command and go to the design section, they also have some information on listing presentations. Okay, Chartmasters has the same exact thing. Okay. So there's a lot of different resources for listing presentations, okay? One of the things that I want to, hang on, let me make sure. Got too many windows open right now. Hang on. Okay, can you see my screen right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to review the bold listing presentation. Okay, I will upload this into the what do you call it? Oh, and Ignite also has a whole packet and a video on listing presentations as well.
We're still looking at your FMLS dashboard.
Yes. And the way they have this thing, it's really hard with one computer to look at all of your files. Hang on just a second for me. Ugh, it just did it again. See, I need some more practice. See, I look like an idiot here. Okay, remember to go to the Just PC Google Drive. And within that, you see here, I'm actually going to stop the screen share for just 1 second so I can find it. All right, back to screen share. Okay, if you go here to, this is the Just PC file, and you can see all these docs here, okay? So all prospecting, open houses, offers, negotiating, marketing, financials, buyer, and all of these are the Sparks, and we also have a script book and a toolkit. Okay, so if you have not combed through that, please let me know. There's also an email that I believe I forwarded back to everyone the other day that was originally sent out by Lucy, and that was sent, this is taking so long, about a week and a half ago that had, if you go to KW Connect and go to Ignite 2.0, there are a ton of links around, you can see all these here. Each Sparks 1 through 9, working with sellers is one of them, and Elementals 1 through 8, seller appointments is one of them. So I would encourage you to, you don't have to purchase them, you just download them right for free, okay? And you can play them as a list right here. This is under, this is on KW Connect for Ignite 2.0. Okay. Any questions on that? No? Okay, cool.
No.
All right. I'm going to stop screen share one more. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the bold listing presentation, and I will pull this up in the file here in a little while. But here's basically the policy, and you can adapt the flow of the presentation. Okay, the main points of the presentation are to reaffirm all of the things that you now know, right? To establish value and answer any questions that they have, and to get the paperwork signed. So I'm just going to review this. And by the way, people can get listings a lot of different ways. Okay. This is just one of 1,000 different presentations you can use. Okay. And you're going to need to tweak it based on needing to do this virtually. So let's pretend you're on Zoom and they already have a copy of your pre-listing packet. And you've already sent them a link and say, hey, during our call, these are the properties that we're going to look at together. If you want to look at them ahead of time, that'd be great. Otherwise, we can spend some time on it when we're all together. Okay. So you're preparing them for everything. The purpose of a pre-listing package, by the way, is to get all the marketing stuff out of the way, right? And I know this might sound a little extreme. If you list the home, the whole world knows about it. If you're on 285 websites instead of 288 websites, it probably doesn't make a bit of difference, okay? We get paid primarily for keeping the deal together, especially in this time. Okay, so you show up at the front door and you say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I have a great deal of respect for your investment and time. In fact, I only have 3 goals for our meeting today. What does that tell them? That you care about them and their time. And that's another way of saying, I don't want to waste my time either. Okay. I have a great deal of respect for the investment of your time. In fact, we only have 3 goals for our meeting today. Number 1, we're going to review your motivation to sell this house now and agree on a price. That will cause it to sell. Number 2, we're going to take a moment and I'll answer any questions that you have. And number 3, we'll decide tonight whether you want to work with me. These are embedded commands that have the dots before and after that are all capitalized, okay? There should be a very small pause before you say that phrase and a very small pause after you say that phrase. And if not, we will decide tonight with a downswing. Decide tonight, not decide tonight, right? We're going to decide tonight whether you want to work with me and if I decide to take your listing, right? And they might say, wait, you would always take my listing. Not necessarily. It doesn't happen a lot, but for example, you may choose to set a price that will not cause your house to sell. Or you may want me to pay for marketing that I feel will not help you sell your house. Fair enough, right? That's showing you mean business, okay? So I have 3 critical questions for you. Number 1, do you really need to sell your house? Are you willing to price your house to sell, or do you want it to sit on the market day after day after day after day after day? I remember giving this presentation in 2012 when we would like say day after day after day after day after day, and they're like, all right. I'm like, I'm serious, day after day. Do you see the average home sells in 350 days? You want that or no? Right? And number 3, do you want me to sell it for you? So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Smith, and I asked him a couple of questions earlier to help me prepare for this evening. May I review those questions now to make certain that I thoroughly understand your circumstances to sell this home? That's the intake sheet. Okay, that's the sheet that says, you know, what do you think your home is worth? What do you owe on it? Where do you want to go? How soon do you need to be there? It says briefly describe your home on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rank your home? 1 is it's completely in shambles, and 10, it is absolutely perfect, and no one would ever say one single negative thing about it. And they say an 8. And this is on the phone prior to going out. So when you're having that initial conversation, you might say, oh, and while I got you, you know, just so we don't have to schedule another one of these calls really, really fast, can I just run through a quick list of questions to help me better prepare? Meanwhile, you've got your intake sheet right there because you're prepared. That's how you roll. Right? Because at any time when you're prospecting, somebody could say, yeah, I'm interested. And you want to grab that sheet, it should be within arm's distance of you. Make sense? Is everyone still there?
Yes.
Having fun?
Yes.
Yeah, unmute, but yes.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so you got that. That's on the seller intake sheet, which is already in the PC folder, okay? So Mrs. Smith, your husband said you were moving to Chicago, correct? Yes, fantastic. And you needed to be there by June 1st, correct? Yes, terrific. Why are we doing this? I know it sounds a little redundant, but we're proving to them that we take this seriously and we have systems, right? When you're courting a particular service provider, whether it's somebody who is going to clean your kid's teeth or you know, sell you some type of product, right? You are trying to determine if this person is the right person to do business with, right? And when they show you that they have a systems and professionalism and they talk with confidence, you have a greater likelihood of working with them. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Stephanie,
Yes, sir.
what's important to you about moving to Chicago? Well, my job is there. Awesome. And wait. Let's say my kid needs to be in a better school district. Well, help me. Why is that important to you? Right. And what you're really looking for is for them to go to the negative a little bit, to say the current school district sucks. Right. Because you're there to offer a solution to that. So ultimately, you're in Chicago by June in a better school district for your family. Ultimately, what will all that do for you? You're future pacing them. because you're the one. It's like, it's almost like hypnosis in some ways, right? You are coaching them through visualizing and almost meditating on what when they accomplish their goals, what will that be like? And they're hearing it from your mouth, which subconsciously means you're involved in that process. Does that make sense? And they say, well, the kids will be, around a better group of peers, and they'll have better access to, technology. The old school didn't have a lot of tech stuff. So that's really important to our family. Awesome. So honestly, doesn't your family deserve all that? Yeah. Awesome. So my goal is to make that happen for you. And if you are as committed as I am, then you will be in Chicago by June. Right? Does that sound salesy?
No.
It sounds pretty assertive. This is a very assertive presentation. And if somebody pushes back, they say, gosh, man, you're being kind of assertive. I would look them dead in the face and say, you're absolutely right. You're hiring me to protect the equity in your home, which is more than likely the most expensive thing you own. You do want an assertive agent, right? And they'll say, yeah. Say, great. Let's move on, right? So I appreciate you being serious about getting your home sold. That's every word in this thing is rooted in psychology, if you haven't figured that out, okay? So I appreciate you being serious about getting your home sold. I don't know if they're serious or not yet, but I'm going to tell them they're serious. And subconsciously, they may become more serious. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Pretty cool, huh? Now, as we continue to talk about getting your house sold and discussing what it will take, it's only natural for you to see why so many people choose me to get their home sold. In fact, during our conversation about the price of your home, it will become obvious that I get more people more money for the home than other agents. You do want the most amount of money possible, don't you? Yes. Okay. I'm not crazy about the next line, to be honest, but because you want the most money, you'll find it easy to choose me tonight. In fact, and I don't care for this one either. In fact, it will be easy for you to sign the contract so we can move forward with your dream. So let's start by looking at what's happening in the marketplace. Okay, so this is when you move to the analysis of the most recent solds and most recent pendings and current actives. This is also when you might pull out a couple of slides from Chartmasters that help your presentation with respect to days on the market, or what happens if you overprice the home, or what happens if you price the home correctly. It might show a little bio of you. It might say that, hey, just so you know, we, it reminds me. I actually want to request this of the, hang on one second. Can you send the most recent stats for okay, so hopefully Lee will send out something today that says, like, the average agent in Metro Atlanta sells the home for X percentage of list price and in X number of days, and the agents in our market center sell it for 30 days, which is half the time that the average agent takes, right? So you are helping them understand how you are different and superior. Now, this hopefully goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Make sure you hand select the comps that you want to show them, right? If there's an outlier, I'm not saying hide it from them, but have practiced this before. Know what you're showing them, okay? Are you aware that we currently have X number of homes on the market and X of them are selling per month? Now, this was written when the market wasn't as strong. What they're showing us here is the absorption rate. Does everyone know what the absorption rate is?
You mentioned it before, but could you say it again?
The absorption rate would be the current amount of homes that are on the market, it's really the monthly supply of homes that are on the market. So what that would be is, let's say we are looking in Roswell High School District. Okay, I'm just pulling these stats up from nowhere. But let's say there's 45 active listings and typically 6 sell per month. Okay, so actually let's do it, the math a little easier. 9 sell per month. So that means that if it would take 5 months to get rid of all the inventory without any new listings coming. So what that means is there's 5 months of supply. Anything short of 5 months of supply is generally a seller's market. Anything north of 7 months of supply is generally speaking a buyer's market. And anything between 5 and 7 months is generally a kind of a neutral market, or you're progressing from one market to the other. Sellers to buyers or the other way around. Make sense? So you want to help them understand the type of environment you're working in. So I think this is where Chartmasters is really important, because
So I'm sorry, Bill. So absorption rate is the same as monthly supply?
Yes.
Or is it? Okay.
Well, hang on.
I thought you had to do something to the monthly supply to get the absorption rate. Maybe I am confused. I don't.
Let's see what Google says. Hang on. I just usually talk about it in terms of the months of supply. Not that type of absorption rate. The rate at which available homes are sold in a specific market during a specific time. It is calculated by dividing the total number of homes sold in the allotted time period by the number of homes available.
So same thing. Okay.
Yeah. The what do they call it? The quotient, I guess, of the absorption rate is the months of supply. The quotient is the answer of a division problem. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If you say quotient in a listing appointment, you're like 100 times out of 100, you're getting a listing.
Just walk in the door and go quotient, quotient, quotient.
That's right. Here's the paperwork. You want to sign blue ink or black ink? All right. Now I'm having a hard time getting back to this page. All right. It's a lot easier to manage this stuff when you're dealing with, I'm used to 3 screens and I'm on one little screen right now. Okay. So you want to help them understand the market. You may show them that, hey, you have a $350,000 home, and according to this data, a well-priced $350,000 home that sells without the need of a price reduction is going to generally sell in about 14 days. So, however, if you don't price it correctly, I know it's a strong market, and so you want to be aggressive and yada, yada, but if you don't price it correctly, on average, this is what you're going to get. And it's going to cost you X number of dollars as a result, because instead of selling it for 99.5%, you're going to sell it for 93.5%. So that's 5%. That's almost $20,000 you'd be leaving on the table if you don't price it correctly. So all we need to do today is agree on a price, one that will make certain your house sells, right? This is written in the last downturn, that your home is one of the small number of houses that are actually selling instead of the huge number that are sitting on the market, right? That's not so relevant today. But we're entering a market where it's essentially it's a beauty contest, right? Everyone's looking online, right? And we used to say it's a beauty contest and a price war. So if we look at your pictures online and they're mediocre, the next place I'm looking is the price. And the price better be freaking outstanding. And if it doesn't blow me out of my chair, I'm not coming to the house. Okay. So especially as we go more and more virtual and people are using video and professional photography and all that stuff more, you're going to need to step it up in terms of how your home presents through the lens of a camera or on video, right? And the people that are, kind of a little dull, I don't want to say dull, that's probably a wrong word, but I mean, I can kind of tend to be a little dry sometimes, right? I have to pick up the energy. I have to like get out there, right? So let's look at a couple of houses together. And that's when you might show them the houses, right? Have you been in this home before? What if that's their best friend and every week they go over there and watch movies and you're going to tell them that something about that home and it from as a guess from what you see on the computer screen, and they know that house better than you do. It's going to be strange, right?
So what are you suggesting?
I'm saying, here's the house that's across the street from you. Have you been in this house? Right. And if they say yes, then you can say, okay, so we're just going to go through it together. Tell me what you know. But if you ask them, hey, have you been in this house that's like on in the same neighborhood 3 streets over, and they haven't, what you're essentially establishing, even though it's very subtle, is that they actually don't know a whole lot about that house. And so they're going to rely on your expertise, which is your ability to explain to them what they need to know about that house. Okay. There's some parts in this presentation I don't think are that great right now because it's not, it's kind of written for a different type of market. Now this might be the market we're moving to. So I'll put it up there anyway, but I'm going to try to go back and see if I can find the listing presentation from the last Bold I took. Does anyone have that by chance? No? Okay, I'll get it. So if you had to choose, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you had to choose one of these houses, which one would you choose to buy? I choose the second one. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, buyers are just like you. They buy the house that they see as the best value for what they want and for what they need, right? And then you can go into the discussion of like they say here, it's much like buying anything. Let's say a computer. You go to one store and the computer you want is $1,500. You, like everyone else, likes to save money, so you go to another store where you see the same computer for $1,500. Only this one has a DVD player, a built-in webcam, and movie-making software. See, it was really, written 7 years ago. Yeah. Which one will you buy? Right? Well, you buy the one that gives you more for the same price, more features and more benefits. So let's say you didn't really care about the webcam and the built-in DVD player. What would you expect the other store to do if you were to buy their computer, right? Lower the price. So buyers are choosing value the same way you did. See, most buyers in this type of market will view 12 to 15 homes before they decide to buy. They will compare homes much like you did tonight. So in essence, your home is competing against these homes, right? They'll do a walkthrough after house after house after house. They'll look for the one that offers the most features and benefits for the least amount of money, and that's what we call value, right? So based on these comparable prices, this one at $350, this one at $340, this one at $375, where do you feel we should price your home so that it's positioned on the market to outperform any and all of these properties for sale, right? And hopefully you come to terms. Now, if they're crazy and they're like, well, and we're probably not going to encounter so much of this right now, but let's say that they paid $350 for the home and all the evidence supports a price of $325. And they say, well, gosh, I put in, I had to repaint the home and I had to rebuild the deck and I've already had to replace the HVAC system and then we got a new roof. And so I need, like, if you add up all those expenses, I need at least, $385 to sell this home. And then you have to let them know that what they bought it for and what they put into it is not what determines value. What determines value is what it can be, what it's currently compared against, right? If you bought stock last year, and again, if you're agreeing on everything, then you don't have to say all this stuff. So these are just some kind of, some little kind of stories, if you will, some thoughts that will help you get a better feel for kind of making them think about everything a little differently. So if you bought stock last year and that stock was $49 a share, and today you wanted to sell that same stock and it's worth $25, what do you think we could sell it for? Well, $25. So Mr. Seller, I don't make the market, I just interpret it. And what the market's telling us is that the market price is this.
So the market determines the price, not you or me.
100%. I bought GE stock when it was $40 a share. There ain't a person in the universe that's going to buy that stock for $40 a share. Right? And I could have sat on it all for the rest of my life, waiting for that moment for me to break even. But instead, what I did is I sold it. This is probably one of the best timings I've ever had in my life. I sold it the day before a 18-year high at around 28.5. And then within 3 months, it was $6. So we're not always going to get what we want, but we have to take advantage of the marketplace if we have to, right? So somebody, for example, who needs to sell, is going to do what it takes to sell, but they're only going to do that if you push really, really hard on their motivation, right? You're basically trying to get them to bitch about something, and then you want to turn the knife a little bit more, right? Well, my wife's already taken that job in Chicago, and I'm sitting here all alone, and the kids are already there, and I miss everybody. Gosh, that sucks. Let's get to work, right? And then when he really wants to sell the house for $350, but he ends up getting an offer for $340, he just does it because he's tired of sitting there by himself, right? If the person has absolutely no motivation, particularly in this type of environment, you probably should be working with somebody different, to be honest, right? Which tactic is it in Shift? Find the motivated, right? That's section 4. Tactic 4, find the motivated. Okay, that's like Gene was talking about today. You call your A people and you're like, are you going to buy or are you not going to buy? I need to know. Are you going to sell now or are you not going to sell now? If you have hesitation, this is what we offer. If you don't want to accept any of that and you got no reason to sell and it's going to freak you out, fine. Thank you very much. I'm calling the next person. Because time is of the essence. Because the more people I talk to, the more money I will make. Make sense? And then you just ask for the deal. Right? So all we need to do now is sign the contract. Let's get to work. Okay, remember about 70% of people will work with the first agent that they talk to, that they meet with, meaning they will not interview more than one agent 70% of the time. And if it's somebody, by the way, that has bought and sold before, then I think it's brilliant to ask the question, so I know you've probably bought and sold a lot of property. Well, by the way, if you're sitting in their room and you didn't help them buy it, they had a crappy experience, right? Or they had a crappy post-closing experience, right? Otherwise, they would have called that agent, right? So I want to figure out, what do they really like about working with an agent? What are the expectations of working with an agent? I also want to know, what don't you like? What are you afraid of? Do you have any fears? Do you have any major concerns? Well, I don't want the agent to call me after 7 o'clock at night because I'm putting my kid to bed. No problem. Guess what happens the next time you call them at 8 o'clock at night? You're done. Number 1, you didn't listen to them. Number 2, you pissed them off. That's not going to help you get paid. Okay? So say, hey, can you share with me some of the positive experiences that you've had with agents before? Well, we just loved it when they did open houses. And we just loved it when they texted me. Oh my gosh, it's so easy to text and it's so hard to email. You better freaking write that down and don't forget it. They're telling you how to treat them, right? And then you say, so tell me a little bit about what concerns you about working with agents, or can you share with me about any negative experiences you've had, right? Well, my last agent would take 3 days to return a phone call. So the standard in my organization is we call you back. If we're in transaction, we call you back within 3 hours. If we're not in transaction, I call you back that same day. Something of that nature, right? What are the standards for how you interact with your clients? What can they expect from you? Right, make sense? And what you're trying to do, for a lack of a better way to put it, I hate saying this on video, but I'll say it anyway. Guys, pretty much everyone's a little nutty, okay? And what you're trying to figure out is how crazy is this person that I'm considering working with? And what will life be like if I have to spend an exorbitant amount of time with this type of person? Rather, by the way, than hanging out with my wife or my husband or my kids or doing something else I enjoy doing. Because when you're with candidate A, you can't be with candidate B, and you can't be with your family either, right? So if I'm going to take time out of my world and go chill with you, it better be pleasant, right? And if you're not going to be respectful, if you're not going to listen, if you're going to be a bigot, if you're always going to be late, if you are not going to listen to any of my recommendations and check, double check my every move, I got to tell you, I'm not going to put up with that. I earned the right to not have to put up with that. And you can go work with somebody else. Does that make sense? So we ask those questions to try to figure out what type of candidate we're working with. How motivated is somebody? When we, I think I told you guys this, was it Tuesday and Wednesday, I think, of this week? Tuesday and Wednesday this week. No, Monday and Tuesday this week, my assistant went and texted about 267 or 268 people that had passed their real estate exam in Georgia and Virginia in the last 4 years. Actually, from about 3 years ago to about 4.5 years ago. People that I had a very short conversation with, but nothing ever amounted to anything. One of them joined Keller Williams today in Midtown and named me as a sponsor. Okay, there's gold everywhere. Okay, I happened to catch him at the right time. Right? And he was motivated. He's signing paperwork through the internet. He met the team leader through Zoom. He needed help. Right? So we have to go figure out what's burning right now. Right? What hurts and how can I fix it? But by the way, Anu, you and all of you, if somebody owns a home and they expect to sell it for a price outside of what the comps suggest it will sell for, it is not a mark against you if you would be unsuccessful. That would be like you selling gas for $3 a gallon right now. If you sold gas for $3 a gallon, how many gallons of gas do you think you'd sell today? Not a single one. What if you were the best gas salesman in the entire planet Earth? How many tanks of gas, how many gallons of gas do you think you'd sell today? None. We don't make the market, and neither do they. All we do is use our professional expertise and experience, use our confidence and our real estate acumen to decipher what's going on in the marketplace, and then building a trust and relationship, and then ask for the opportunity to walk them through this process together. Okay? If they are financially not able to sell the home for that number, build the relationship, because one day, hopefully, it'll be better. But don't go put your sign in a house that's worth $350 and try to list it for $450, because it's going to drive you and everyone you know crazy. And I'm only going to tell you like 3 or 4 times it's overpriced before I tell you to fire the person. Okay? What questions do we have? No? Everyone's good? Talk to me, Marinella.
Just reading over everything all the notes that I took while you were talking, but I don't think I have any questions about it right now. Probably after.
You've sold a bunch of houses, so like, give us some feedback about how this has gone for you. I found when I was selling that the more blunt and straightforward and like right to the gut I got with people, the easier everything was. When I danced around the facts and I danced around like taking control, I wasted a shitload of time. Excuse me.
No, I agree. Yep. That absolutely makes sense. And definitely the more confident you sound and the more facts you have in front of you, that's extremely helpful.
Yeah. You sound confident and you're like 2 + 2 is 5. That person's like, man, I thought it was 4, but Maybe it is 5.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just one more thing to practice, guys. One more thing to practice. If you want to practice, go around your home and take some video of your home. Say, look at this awesome kitchen. It's got a 6-burner stove. It's got a oven vent. It's got a built-in microwave, blah, 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 blah. Right? Because one of 2 things is happening after this thing blows over. People are either going to realize they love their home, or they're going to realize they hate their home. Right? And I'll tell you, yesterday I went down on my porch and I looked out on the grass and all that. I'm like, I love this place. Right? And I haven't always lived in homes like that. Right? And I looked, and there were, if I was in a different home, and I was cramped with my family and it just wasn't the right fit, boy, this is exposing that. Right? So you got to find the people that are pissed off at living where they're living, and let's help them sell it and go find something different. Make sense?
That was awesome.
What?
But you said, like, some people will either absolutely love their home after this or hate their home. And I'm like, yeah, we got to find those that hate it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, do you think there's one of your friends right now that is sitting there thinking that their home is not ideal for their family? You got to go find that person. Go tell that person, meaning go tell everyone, and that person will hear it, that the market is active. Go tell that person that you have figured out a way to help buyers buy virtually and sellers sell virtually to protect everyone's health. Their other real estate friends may not be saying that stuff. You never know when you're going to catch somebody, but you're only going to catch somebody if you talk to them. Right? I mean, this week, my assistant's been on a texting binge. Okay? And we've probably texted close to 1,000 people. Maybe not that many. We've probably texted about somewhere between 500 and 600 people. Okay? And we've drummed up 2 buyers, one for July and one for next year. And I already got a recruit signed. Was that worth the couple $100 that I pay her for this week? Yep. 100%. Make sense? Okay, read the 3 and 4 tactics 3 and 4 in Shift, and think about every part of the real estate transaction and how do I digitize this, or how do I deal with this virtually? Because many things that we're becoming accustomed to in the last couple of weeks, they're probably going to remain. And if you do not have a Zoom account, you're in trouble if you don't have a Zoom account by Monday. Cool? All right. Well, this was easy.
Thanks, Bill.
No problem. All right, Kim, I'll see you at 3 or 3:30, right?
Yeah, 3:30, because I have to run out, so I know I won't be back until 3:30.
Okay, do you want to hang on for a second, Marinelli?
Yes. Oh, you're talking Marinelli. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, have a great day.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.